Thanks for joining us on this historic day. Before we dive into the program, we just wanted to acknowledge what we've seen happening in our world as Irma has been devastating the Caribbean and Florida. And that's on the heels of Hurricane Harvey, which devastated Texas, still recovering from that. It was only the second Category 4 storm to hit Texas in over 50 years. And of course, we've seen Texas incredibly flooded, and lost in the middle of all of the hurricanes right now in the Caribbean is Mexico. It had an 8.2 degree earthquake. It is the strongest earthquake to hit that country in a century. And then you look at what's happening with Irma. It devastated the Caribbean from Cuba to Antigua. This Category 5 storm left a trail of death, destruction, and chaos from which the islands could take years to recover. We see Barbuda, they declared it uninhabitable because 95% of it was devastated. Today in Florida, of course, everybody's just beginning to assess what Irma did there. Millions are without power. And we look at how all of these events are historic. This is the first time the U.S. has been hit with 2 Category 4 hurricanes in the same year. Of course, one company is saying that it could cost $50 billion worth of losses in the U.S. It is the longest Category 5 hurricane since storm tracking began. We're going to talk about what our spiritual response should be to these events. But first, take a look at what's happening in Florida.
Hurricane Irma walloping the Sunshine State from coast to coast, making landfall in Florida as a Category 4. The 400-mile-wide storm leaving the low-lying Florida Keys underwater. Powerful 130-mile-per-hour winds whipping through southwest Florida Sunday, downing power lines and leaving a trail of debris behind. More than 4 million customers without power across the state. Irma pummeling Marco Island as a Category 3 hurricane, registering some of the strongest winds in the state. Irma's powerful wind gusts peeling the roof clean off of this apartment building in Miami. The dramatic moment caught on camera. Roaring winds and heavy rain in the downtown area, turning streets into rivers. Several tornadoes reported as Hurricane Irma began its assault on Florida. Waterspouts just like this one popping up, threatening to wreak havoc.
And of course, what I'm hearing from everyone in my life and on my social media feeds is what is happening to our planet, what is happening to our world, and how should we respond? And of course, we know as people of faith, the number one thing we need to do is to cry out to God. And I've been meditating on Psalm 107, 28 to 31. This is a great verse to meditate on today. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. They were glad when it grew calm, and he guided them to their desired heaven. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for mankind. And I think that's what we need to be praying today, is for the storm to be calmed, for the seas to be calmed, and of course for people who've lost loved ones, for people who've lost property and memories. That's always the worst thing. So let's pray right now. God, I thank you that you love the people of this planet, the Caribbean, God, Mexico, Florida. And I ask right now that you calm Irma today, Lord. And I ask that you bring peace and safety to everyone. Let's keep praying today. Thanks so much.